Okay, anyone who's watched my channel knows I talk a lot about how evil and wrong the truth narrative is. But that being said, it is part of the path to truth and righteousness and God in many people's cases. The problem comes when people get they get to the truth narrative and then they don't go any further and they fail to work through the secondary lie that is the truth narrative and pass the truth narrative truth gates because of their sins. They're clinging to the truth narrative because of ego and pride and sloth and all the seven deadly sins. The truth narrative is made up and designed by the beast system to capitalize on your sins. And if you fail to move past the truth narrative, you're not going to make it. So the truth narrative has its place, but it's not somewhere you want to stay. You need to be able to let it all go if you really want to get to the truth. This is end time truth. So you can have fake truth or you can have end time truth, but you can't have both and you can't mix them. They don't mix together. It's not a blend. You either work spiritually to the point where you see through the truth narrative and realize it's just an extension of the mainstream uh, media narrative and you abandon it completely, or you don't. And if you don't, you're not going to get to the end time truth. You're going to get some fake version of the end time truth and you'll be stuck, you know, and basically ended up in the lake of fire. So this is important. So, your only thing holding you, tying you to the truth or narrative is your sins. If you really look deep. Okay, here they are again, Adam and Eve. So that's Adam and Eve. They're running from the cops. This is who you're looking at. Right here. Here's Adam. There's his head upside down. See if we can. They won't let me spin this thing around, but there's his skull right there. There's his face. That's Adam. Okay? The father. That's a father of the 144K. Okay? He's 72 genes, 72 strands, 72 strands in the 144K chain, God's chain. And when Archaics tells you to break free or die trying, he's talking about the broken chain of Satanism. And that means break the DNA chain and add a third strand of 72, which would make 216, which is 3 score and whatever, and equals 666. So that's what 666 means. Okay? So we were giants. We were giants. We've been shrunken down. Time, there's no time, and this time as we know it is an illusion. It's created. And here he is. Here's his back. The beast is on his back right here. This is the beast right on his back. Okay? And he's going to throw him off into the Pacific Ocean, which is the lake of fire. The earth is going to shake like crazy. Adam and Eve, Mother Earth, and Adam, they're going to shake. They're going to collide time, past and future. Adam is the future. The male principle is the future, and the female principle is the past. Adam is music. Music is about the future. Eve is art. Art is about the past. So you see this everywhere. This all the truthers are worried about BlackRock and Vanguard. There's no such thing. It's, Vanguard is the female and BlackRock is the male. And it's the same thing with rock and roll. It's male and female principle. It's the same thing with the Twin Towers. It's male and female. It goes on. Rockefellers and Rothschilds. There's no such those. That's not. They don't exist. I mean, they do exist, but it's the male and female principle. There's no governments or none of this. It's not what you think. It's not. You cannot be tied to this world or the explanations given to you pre-end time. The only thing you can cling to now is the end time truth. The other stuff is garbage, and that's your test. Can you let go of it, or do you like it? Do you like all that evil, wicked garbage so much that you can't let go of it? So these Whitney Webb talking about Bretton Woods and BlackRock. She's just holding you in a mind prison. She's just a beast system puppet that's being used to keep you from seeing what I'm saying. There's no time. None of this is real. None of this is real. None of these people are real. They don't. They're just like cyborgs, robots. So stop believing these liars and believing these celebrities. Who cares about any of these people? These celebrities. Oh, they were Trump did this and Elon said this and the Pope did this and that. But who cares? They don't have anything to do with what your real spiritual problem is. You're looking for a material understanding and a material solution to your spiritual misunderstanding and your spiritual problem. You can only solve your spiritual problem with the spiritual solution. It's not going to be in the truth or narrative. It's just not. Sorry, but it's not going to be there. Okay, so let's keep going. But just trip out on the face. You can see the skin. You can see the eyes. The skin is slipped off. It's laying underground, still intact. Like have you ever seen a like a science like an animal preserved in a in like in solution in a bottle in a science class? It's like that. You know, it's pretty trippy, man. Just check out these maps. I urge you. Just start looking at it with the open mind. There's like I showed you, they're all intertwined in a ball. So we just see the top of what's on the top of this little biosphere. The ice is Eve. Eve is ice. Adam is fire. They're fire and ice. Okay, I've been telling you guys this for like 2 years now. Okay, there's a kid, their daughter, right here. This is the placenta she come out of. There's her, Adam's holding their other kid. He was born. He was born earlier. I think. I think he's holding it right here. Iceland. Okay. So they're opposites too. You know. So. And you don't believe me? This is his face. Let's take a look. Let's see. You can see. You have to look at the outline of all this stuff behind it, okay? Like the underwater is really telling. See all this stuff and this stuff? If you look here, you can see his lips. See if I can get up close. There's his lips right there. Because his jawbone's fallen down, through the collision of time. They were, petrified. So if you just look at this relief, like the stuff that's showing through in the depths of the relief underwater, you can see the face where the face is slipped off, the skin is slipped off of the skull, and you can see the eye right there, the cheekbone and the lips. You can see the face, you know, and I mean, once you start looking at it and you look at this, it's and see the teeth and everything in the skull, and then you can see the skin slipped off. It's a face. So this is what's really happening here, and that's why I'm telling you this avatar of Satan, this Roger mud fossil. He's here. He was made by the beast system to keep you from seeing what I'm telling you and what Sally Delaney's telling you. You just look at this, deposit. Go on the maps yourself and just look at this for you owe it to yourself. For if you've been spouting off that you know the Bible, you better you owe it to yourself to take a look at this. Because you start looking into it, you'll see I'm not wrong. This is the real Bible. These are the real giants. This is, and this was such a shame that this idiot, this moron, Roger Spur, has monopolized the topic. And if you look at what he's saying, I look now, he's intentionally being manipulated and controlled by this beast system to steer you away from this truth. Talking about Typhon and all this garbage. He's full of shit. It's what it really comes down to. So anyway, take a look at it and you'll see I'm not playing around. This is the real earth. This is the real truth of earth. Fire and ice, past and future collide in the end time. The time ends. And that's there's his cheekbones up there, his skin. That's probably the skin off of his cheeks. See what I'm saying? And it's just like that. And then, here down here, I showed you before all this stuff. Here is here's where his penis was pulled out. It's pulled, after they were frozen or, petrified, they've moved. But it's just irritating how this thing, it's very unruly. It won't let you make it go where you want to go because it doesn't want you to see what I'm showing you. But here's Eve's vagina, and here's Adam's penis right up here. And if you just imagine his belly cutting off right here, you'll see we're behind the penis. The penis actually goes inside of the body. And then there's this little organ here, part of his urinary tract. And then his, testicles. And this is like the head of his penis. The skin slipped off. But, there was the flood, biblical flood and all that too, But this is, I showed it in another video. If you line up the anatomy, like an anatomically correct drawing, with this and this thing right here, it's exact. It's exact. Except for the slippage right here. But I mean, it's exact. So Sweden and Finland and all that, that's the genitals of Adam. This is Eve's anus. That's why, there's all the poo-poo there. I told you guys, I don't want to repeat myself, but all the world's oil is located right there in her colon, in her butt. Because what it is it's ancient poo-poo. Here's the vagina. It's clearly a vagina. Here's her clitoris, the Mount Hermon. Moses parted the Red Sea, the menstrual blood with his rod. Okay, Giza's her urethra. The pyramids were built by shrunken down giants. Okay, that were smaller than these guys, but still huge. And all these megalithic sites were built by shrunken giants. We're being shrunken down so they can harvest us. Okay, so here is Assyria. Where do you think they got the name ass? Because it's Eve's ass. Assyrians, the Assyrians. That's why they call it an ass. I hate to be crude or whatever, but that's the real root. That's the real where the meaning came. And over here is the Black Sea. Why is it the Black Sea? Because it's the poo-poo sea. And the Euphrates in the Bible dries up, which has happened. 6 seals already taken place. Last year, a year and a half ago. So don't listen to any of these fake truthers or fake preachers telling you otherwise. And like I said, down here, this is her let's zoom in. This is her kidney. I showed a drawing of a kidney. It's exactly like this. That's why all this water is here in the middle of Africa. There's no water in Africa, but here it's a bunch of water because shaped exactly like a kidney. And there's the urinary tract going down and right to her urethra. Giza and Gaza were connected. This was all pulled apart. It's moved. It's moved. It's probably going to move again after the next end time. And there's the next cataclysm. The earth is going to shake. They're going to shake and rattle, and they're going to destroy everything, and they're going to throw Satan in the lake of fire. So, you know, told you guys this already. So for those people that have heard it, I don't mean to go on, but this also I think is her boob. Mount Everest, and it may have kind of been leaking or something, but I don't know about that yet. But I just see these things. I was just shown this stuff, and this is just a precursor because I'm going to show you this movie. I was just sitting there, and it just dawned on me. There was a movie in the '70s called Crazy Larry and Dirty Mary with Peter Fonda. And it was about Adam and Eve. It just dawned on me. I was like, Crazy Larry and Dirty Mary, that's Adam and Eve. And so I looked at the movie, and sure enough, it's exactly what I'm telling you guys. Exactly. Satan chases them, and they beat him. They get away. And they beat Satan, and then it's end times. And so let me show you the movie. Watch. Here it is, okay? Background on the movie. Peter Fonda's a race car driver. Let's go. And he decides to pull a heist to get some money to get into have his own race car company or something. I don't know, whatever. But here's this Charger, and the Red King, Peter Fonda, Adam, is he's a ace at whatever he does. If he's a surgeon, he's like an ace. He'll be like the best surgeon in town. If he's a mechanic, he'll be like the best one in town. If he's a basketball player, he'll be like the greatest shooter ever. This is what Adam is. And he always beats Satan. And Eazy-E, was the he was the father, they call him the grandfather of gangster rap. And you ask any of the gangster rappers from back in the day, and they'll all say who is the king of it, and they'll all say Eazy-E, hands down. But anyway, same thing. You ask any basketball player, even though the NBA has nerfed Steph Curry, they'll all tell you he's the greatest. He's the greatest of all times. He's the greatest shooter ever. You know. So Adam's in all of these avatars are in all walks of life, and you see them everywhere. It's not just famous people, but this is just how Adam is. I mean, even even in punk rock, a lot of people would say, well, who was like the best punk rock singer, frontman? And a lot of people would say, yeah, Jello Biafra from the Dead Kennedys. He's the Red King. He's Adam. So, you see him. Neil Young, too. Neil Young. A lot of people would probably put him at the top of his genre, you know? So it's just, he's a principled guy. He's Dudley Do Right in that cartoon, and he's all around, There's a lot of versions. But anyway, so this one's a race car driver, and he's pretty good. So this is Adam, okay? This is the Red King. And here he is. He's a race car driver, and he's fighting Satan, and he wins. And then there's end times. Okay, so basically, let's check it out. And he picks up Mary, Crazy Mary, whose mother Mary, okay, is with him. And let's see. So that's Adam and Eve. They're running from the cops. And
So remember I told you Adam's clean and precise and very, principled. Eve is she's more dirty. She eats a lot. She's like she'll sock you in the face if you mouth off to her. She's not so principled. So there he is. He just ran one of Satan's minions off into the creek. Satan is chasing him in a helicopter, and I think it's the same actor that played Columbo. But all these crashes they're all symbolic of the things that happen in the Bible. This is an ancient, ongoing story. It's happening right now, today, in your life, in all our lives. It's always happening until end times. So that's just one of Satan's minions in the cop car, and Satan's in a helicopter, in a police helicopter, trying to catch him. And he eludes Satan, and he wins. And then they get in a train wreck. Let me turn this down. It's a little loud. Oh yeah, here we go. Okay, so this is Satan talking to him on the CB radio. He's telling him, "You're mine now, clown. Make it easy on yourself." And he's in the helicopter, and he's threatening Adam, saying that he's going to take him down. And Adam's not having it. He knows he can get away. So let's see. Let's go back. Yeah, see, he sees the helicopter in the rearview mirror. That's Satan. Let's go back. I'll show you his face. Let's see. Well, whatever. Anyway, the guy in the helicopter is Satan, and he's chasing Adam and Eve, and I think their son. There's Satan right there. That's Satan in the copter. That's Adam and Eve, and I believe it's either John the Apostle or their son. I don't know. Okay, so they got away.
Hey, so I just picked this up too. This is they hit the four mailboxes, and that's the four horses of the apocalypse. See, there's one, two, three, four mailboxes. That's the four horses.
got away from the chopper. They win. They're free. And then now end times happens. They have a collision with the see. This is the collision of Adam and Eve, past and future. It's end times. See, get it? End times. That's what it is. So that's what the movie's about. And like I told you, all the movies, all the cartoons, all the ancient stories, the fables, the Hansel and Gretel, the big bad wolf, the Greek mythologies, the Hindu cosmology, you go back, Jainism, all the religions, all of it is about the same story. Sorry to break the news, but it's all about the same thing. It's all about Adam and Eve and God and Satan and the 144 fighting the 1/3 angels. It's all just in different packages and different clothes with slightly different names, but it's all the same story, and it's always happening. It's happening right now. So, I just see things. It's like it just comes to me. I never even watched this movie or thought of this movie or anything. It just popped in my head and I looked it up. This happened about 10 minutes ago. I make this on the fly. I don't even need to reverse it or whatever. So all you truthers out there that are watching my channel going, what the hell? Maybe he's saying something, and taking, combing it for, if you have a truth channel and you're surfing the truth or narrative and trying to get info and content so you can sell it, that's not the truth. Anybody who does that, or, and so whatever. But I'll just telling you guys, if you're taking my content, and you're not mentioning me, and you're not, acknowledging it where you're getting it, and you're, especially if you're monetized, especially if I haven't, given you permission. There's only a few handful of people now that I have permission, by the way. And if I gave you permission in the past, I've revoked all but like 3 or 4 people. So you better check in on my list. But I'm telling you, if you play around with my content, if you play around with my content, you'll get away with it legally, money, whatever, but you're not going to get away with it spiritually. And the consequences are going to be gnarly. So don't play with me. Don't play with me. Don't come in the comments and play with me. Don't talk back to me archaics with your tongue. And all you other people, don't play with me. Don't. I'm warning you. Okay? Because this channel, you're going to see a lot more stuff coming. And this is just end times truth coming through me. Okay? And it isn't me that's going to do anything to you. It's the force behind me. God can nail your ass to the wall if you mess with me. And I've seen it time and time and time again. So whatever. I'm not trying to threaten you or scare you. Just telling you as a fair warning, don't play around with this. This is bigger than you guys think. Okay, let me just go back. Think about it. If what I'm saying is right, okay, if this really is Adam's face and his back and all this stuff I just laid out, this is the vagina and the penis, and this is Adam and Eve, and this is past and future and the collision of time. You know what I mean? The sun and the moon. The sun is Eve's eye. The moon or the sun is Adam's eye. He's fire. If all this stuff's right, and there's no one saying it but me, if it's right, think about the consequences. And the beast system, I'm the first person to show what the real beast system is. So here's a guy who never even read the Bible, except when I did study like cosmology, and I studied a lot of world religions, blah, 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 in college and university or whatever. But aside from that, I never cracked the Bible, okay? And I'm telling you, okay, this is the real beast system, and I saw it in visions. So if that's right, and it is, I can guarantee you, I bet my life on it, I know it's right. If that's right, if here's a guy that revealed the beast system and revealed the real truth of Adam and Eve and real truth of earth and the real truth of time, that's huge. There's no one that's even coming close to me. There's not a single truther channel or religious channel or preacher or philosopher or scholar that's even laid out a tenth of what I've laid out as far as, real end time truth. So I'm not trying to brag or I'm just trying to put this in perspective for you people. I'm trying to show you, see, there's the imprint of the vagina right there. And then it's pulled over right here. There it is, right there. See? They match them up. They match too, by the way. This was Eden. Okay? I found Eden. I found Adam and Eve. Okay? Eden is where Adam and Eve were in copulation. Okay? I'm the guy who's telling you what the Bible really means. I'm the guy who figured out what Revelation 13 really means. I'm the guy who understands what Trump is and Elon and all your stupid pop culture. I don't even talk about the Pope and all that stuff you guys are all worried about because it's big. What's going on here is big. It's much bigger than that. Those people aren't. They're just a diversion, so you don't see what I'm saying. The truth or narrative is a diversion, so you can't see what I'm telling you. So I'm the guy who showed you where the lake of fire is. It's right here, right here. They even call it. They even call it the Pacific Rim of Fire. Duh. So and who the Canaanites they call North and South America the land of Adam. Adam, duh. So it's right there in your face. This is the Red Sea, the menstrual blood. This was Assyria, the ass. Not wrong. You know who's wrong is all of you guys, all you know-it-all truthers, all you fake Christians or wannabe Christians. You guys are the ones that are wrong. Hate to break the news, you know. So just think about, you better just think twice before you start schooling me in the comments or you start, you know, taking my content and selling it. Because some heavy shit is gonna rain down on you. I can guarantee it.
So, this video, I'm sure you can sense my anger at all of these fake truthers and the truther narrative and just how ridiculous it is. And, you know, it's real. I mean, the truth narrative is run by the, the Canaanites, the Bagels, the J word. I don't say it on video because it's stupid to say it on video. But all these people, Max Egan and Archaics and Mud Fossil and all these people I've outed, if you look at them, they're all Canaanites, Khazarians, Hyksos. These are the evil Canaanites. They're the synagogue of Satan. The ones who call themselves Jays but are not real Jays. They're the imposters. So they're irritating, man. They're irritating people. So I am angry, and it's okay. But really, I don't need to be angry. I mean, the honest truth is these people they're not making it into heaven. They're not going with us. They're not going with the chosen 144. So, and they're gonna get they're gonna get more than they bargained for, and worse than we can even imagine. And so it's all good, really, when it really comes down to it. So Archaics, right now he's having his little party, but hey, in the end, we have the last laugh. And I don't need any comfort. I don't need any material comfort. I don't need any money. I don't need any of that. You know what I mean? I'm at peace. I'm happy. I'm happy as is without any of that stuff. And so it's all good. It's all good. And it's just nice to know. It'll be nicer when we see it happen. That's all I can say. but but yeah, this is nothing to be upset about. And I think I'm really not even upset so much at these people as really what's upsetting is to see my people who've been tricked by them, to see the real natural born humans, the 144 DNA strands that are believing Sabrina Wallace and Dr. Day. It's very, very upsetting to see that happen. That's really what's I'm probably upset about, not so much archaics and all that, because I know what's going to happen to him. I know he's going back to the big house. But to see these people that could have made it be tripped up by Sabrina Wallace, you know, and stuff like that, just it's upsetting and it's tragic and it's sad. Don't be a victim of the truth or narrative in the truth community. You need to transcend it spiritually, and you better get your ass in gear because this is going down soon.
Whatever it is, all I can tell you is I see huge like huge, like major, important, like prophecy. I see through time, and I see it, and it's like, and it's just never been wrong. It's so far off from what people think, but when I look into it, it turns out to be right. And I was prepared for many years so that I would be able to handle what I was seeing because it was so intense. And I just don't know. I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, it's like a weird position to be in. you know, a guy that wasn't even into the Bible. I lived the Bible in my life, but I wasn't. I never studied it, and all of a sudden, it was just shown to me in visions, and I started seeing things about Nazareth and what the hell Nazareth? What I don't. I'm not into the Bible. Why? What? Who? How does this pertain to me? I was kind of pissed off, like, cut it out with, like, wherever these visions were coming from. I was like, cut it out with all this biblical crap, And it just kept going on and on. And so I had to pay attention. And I started looking into it, and I started seeing, yeah, this is, And it wasn't really until I started talking to my SDA friend, and she's like, dude, this is the Bible. You've been shown the Bible. I was like, whoa, I kind of thought so. And, so this is the Bible. This is the real Bible. And it's like people are just so far off the mark, you know. And the spooky thing is, I think, I'm not the only person that knows about it. You know who knows about this is the Canaanites. So it's just the beast system having some symbolic, it has to tell you what this is. And it told you, you just didn't pay attention. So all these things must be told to you. Just like that movie I showed you. Let's go back. This movie, they have to tell you. It's Adam and Eve. And there's going to be a collision of time. Adam is in the car and Eve's in the car. And they collide in time. She's the past and he's the future. So it's like they have to tell you, they tell you through these movies, people just don't see it, they don't get it, because if you're tied into the material world, into Satan's world, you have ulterior motives and you won't be able to see these things. Plus, God won't give you his eyes. He won't show you these things because you didn't earn it, You've made too many contracts with the beast and Satan to be shown this stuff. You've watched too many Sabrina Wallace videos to be shown this stuff. You're not eligible to have visions. You've watched too much, Dr. Day and Amazing Polly and Richie from Boston. You've watched too much, archaics. So you've contracted with archaics to be lied to. You've consented to be lied to. So that's what you're going to get. You never went and told archaics to fuck off in the comments. In fact, you thumbs up them and praised them a couple times. And guess what? You contracted with them when you did that. So this is how I think it works.
And don't worry, all is not lost. You're allowed to make mistakes on the test question, if you ask me. I mean, God's forgiving. You're not going to get a perfect score. But, this is end days. And if you go back and clean up as much of the test questions as you can now, it would be smart. Like, think of it as the SAT. Just review what you wrote down and check. You might have some wrong answers, and you might want to correct them now before you turn your exam in. That's how I would look at it. So, it's not all, if you made a couple mistakes, it's not all lost. Fix it now while you can.
Okay, so just look at this. So there's the face. Can you see it? Cheekbones and the eye. There's the eye, the cheekbones, the lips. It's right there. And it's slipped off of the skull. There's the mouth, the jawbones broken down, like down here. And well, it's hard to move this thing. Let's see if I can do it. And there, there's the eyes, you know, and if you look, all the sites, the megalithic sites in South America, there are important points of Adam's skull. You just these idiot truthers talking about ley lines. They don't. They're so stupid and they're so brainwashed and lost and blind. They're just blind. They God's put a black blindfold over their face, and then he just lets Satan feed them all the lies. Because you guys deserve it. That's what it is. You didn't want to do what God told you to do. You wanted to do what they told you. So that's what you get. That's what you get. But here you go. So here's the face. Here's the chin right here. Slip down the eyes clearly. Here's the skull up here. It's slipped off of here. And here's its neck. So what's right here? The Mississippi River. What is it? It's the esophagus. It's the throat of Adam. Okay? That's why it's such a huge river. Just like I showed you in San Francisco, the smaller giant that over here, it has Crystal Springs Reservoir, the esophagus of the beast with the head wound. So these are just giants. And we've been shrunken down from this is our original size, the size of 3 continents. That's how big we were. And we've been shrunken down to now, 5 or 6 feet tall. But this is your windpipe right here. Look, this is, the Mississippi River is right in here where his throat is. Let's see if we can find it. I don't know where to. Yeah, right. I don't know where it is. Yeah, right here. You get it. You get the point. I can zoom in or whatever and find it, but it always wants to go back to the. Here it is. I guess this is the Mississippi River. Okay, so this is his throat coming right down his throat, his windpipe. So let's go back out. I'll show you some other parts of his body. Okay, so that's like all his, let's see. That's all like his back and that's what his one shoulder, his arm is going down inside of Earth. It's a ball, but they're flat on top. So it is a ball and it is flat. It's both. So I'm the first person to say that too, right? So then here's his chest, here's his nipple, and up in here is his heart. That's why, Indiana and Chicago and all that is called what? It's called the heartland. Because it is the heartland. It's where his heart is. See, the beast knows what this stuff is, and it names everything. Because it has to. It has to tell you. And God too, everything that God does, the beast copies. So that's it. That's, just the map's just real irritating. Oh, another thing I was going to tell you. So all the oil I told you is right here. The world's richest oil region is right here. It's documented. You can pull up the oil maps. It's all right in the colon of Eve. And where is the second richest oil region in the world? Well, guess what? It's over. Like I told you, Eve eats a lot more than Adam. She's more hardy. She's strong and eats a lot. Compared to Adam. Adam's often he's littler, smaller framed guy, fragile guy, and he doesn't eat a lot. He's not an overeater. He eats, sparse. But up here in Alaska and all this northern Bering Straits and all this is the second most oil rich region. Where is that? It's his butt. So you see what I'm saying? So I'm not wrong about this. If you look at the anatomy of these two, giants I'm pointing out, and you look at what is going on with them, with the megalithic sites, and all the rivers, and the Nile River, Eve's urinary tract, and then the Mississippi River being Adam's windpipe. You know, it's all fits, and it's like there's not anything that's out of place. And it's been like this with everything I've seen on these maps. So it's not, this isn't like some fantasy, some guy making some crap up or some truth or psyop. This is what's really happening, you know.
Another thing you might want to think about is, I've never been monetized. I've had this channel over 4 years, and I've never tried to grow the channel, never expanded out to other platforms or push the channel. I've never monetized the channel. And in fact, I've actively tried to discourage people from watching the channel. I've actively said unsubscribe and thumbs down and played like weird music and terrible production to weed out the people that weren't open-minded and thought they needed some slick Hollywood style truther production. So you have to think about that. Well, I'm you're not ever going to see me monetized either, and you're not ever going to see me pushing my stuff. So this is the end time truth. I mean, why would a guy that didn't even have a lot of money to begin with spend all his time telling you all this stuff when he's not trying to get anywhere with it? So, some people might make videos like Roger. Roger's financially secure, and he just gets an ego charge. He's retired. He gets an ego charge out of making these videos. He's got nothing better to do. Me, I'm struggling to work. I have to work and make these videos. You know how hard it is? I mean, it is hard for me to put any of these videos out. It costs me a lot of money and a lot of sacrifice. It's my life is really very difficult. Every day my life's like a fight scene from Mad Max. Literally. I mean, it's gnarly. And so why would somebody put themselves through all that? You know what I mean? I don't get an ego boost. I'm not ever gonna make any money off of it. I would never monetize this stuff. So what would why would furthermore, why does all the stuff that I keep revealing keep, you know, growing? Like why does all this stuff, like I keep having more visions. I keep seeing more stuff, and none of it is in the rest of the truther narrative. You can't find anybody saying what I'm saying. So what is going on? You know what I mean? There's no money, there's no ego gratification. It's costing me all kinds of trouble. The beast is harassing the hell out of me too for these videos. None of the truthers like me. I call them all out, spit in their face. So I mean, what am I getting? You know what I mean? And then why is this stuff now? It started out the beast system, and I revealed Revelation 13 and the tech industry and Genentech, and then now I'm showing you Adam and Eve and the whole. I mean, come on, what is and time and end time? I mean, what? How am I learning all this stuff? It's not in any books. There's not a book in the world that says what I'm saying. There's not a truth or channel in the world that says what I'm saying. So where the hell is it coming from? Where's this all coming from? Ask yourself. Think about it. Think about it. Do the math, as I say. Okay.
It's only God that can show you this. That's all I can tell you. Like I said, none of the fake truthers are gonna get this. They're gonna shrug it off. Oh no, no. You know what I mean? And even some of them will get some of it and they'll sell it and they'll make money or whatever off of it. But eventually they're going to crash and burn too. Anybody does that. So whatever, you know. But this is Adam, and so